Good morning and welcome to our live crafting session this morning. It is Wednesday the 12th of November 2025. My name's Jenny McCormac. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, and that's here in the UK. Our Wednesday morning sessions tend to feature either a new kit or one or more of our online exclusive products. These are available, you can see them in the online store, but they don't always appear in, they don't appear in a catalogue. Some of the kits you might see as a sneak peek in a printed catalogue. So my Wednesday session always features those products as an opportunity for me to show them to you and bring them to your attention. This week we have a new kit. It's called Everyday Beauty. All of our kits come in these great boxes. The box size may vary depending on the kit itself. This is a card making kit. It is £24 here in the UK and it includes a stamp set, a block and an ink pad, as well as all you need for the kit itself. I believe it makes 9 cards and they always come well wrapped. We have a stamp set and an ink pad. Let me put the box ready. There we go. So you do need a pair of scissors to get in, and you may also need a pair of scissors if there's any ribbon or twine. So let me open this up. So you can keep the contents in the box and while you're working on it, and you could also gift it in the box itself when you've made the cards up. So we have some double-sided tape, we have some gold thread, we have some of our foam pads, and we have a block ready for the stamp set. We have the stamp set, and I'll just grab the rest of the information to show you. So you can choose your language for these, and I believe this is English, French and German. Sometimes we also have Dutch as well. So this is the stamp set, and I do really like these little snowdrops, I have to say. There we go. Right, let's just make sure we are indeed live. Okay, we are. So the stamp set includes some images as well as text. So we've got celebrate today and every day, thanks, hello beautiful. We've got some foliage and snowdrops that you could colour in, and then for all you do. And probably if it was me, I would cut this. I don't often send a card that says hello beautiful, but I do like the hello. So what I would do with that one is cut that in half, and let me just show you how I do that. I need to take my glasses off though. So I'm literally just going to cut straight through the stamp. So all of our stamps that now come out are photopolymer. So now I've got hello on its own, and I've got beautiful on its own. And I could do beautiful today and every day. And I could do the same with celebrate actually. I could cut that off and have celebrate on its own, and then today and every day could go with the thanks. Thanks today and every day. Okay, right, let's put that ready. All of our kits have printed instructions which are photographic. So they show you in pictures basically how to put the cards together. So this is a 9 card kit. It's obviously blue's one of my favourite colours, that if you followed me for a while you will know. and it takes you step by step. It tells you which stamps to ink up and where to place them. Now obviously excuse me, you can also do your own thing entirely. You don't have to follow the instructions as is. And what I tend to do is I tend to do one of each, and then I go off piece and do my own thing. There are some QR codes on the back. One is some beginner instructions, so if you've never crafted before, you can scan that QR code and have a look for some basic crafting know-how, so how to ink up, how to stamp, etc. And then the second one is actually for this particular kit, so you can watch a video of the cards being prepared. It's a fairly short video. It just shows you step by step. Okay, so let's have a look at the components. So we've got pre-printed foliage pieces here. We have some pre-printed gold embossed panels for sentiments, and Stampin' Up are very good in that they will often have spares, especially where stamping is involved. So you'll see here, obviously there's one each of those and two of those for the card, but there's 4 of these instead of 3. So it means A, you've got a spare, and B, if you're not happy with your first stamping effort, you can use another one. And my recommendation for anybody that's complete newbie is to stamp on the reverse, have a practice on there to begin with. So we've got some gold labels, and we've got, let me see, 3. So we've got this card here that's got a dotty panel and a background. That's the back of the card, sorry. And then we've got some gold panels here. Obviously there's 3 sets there, 3 sets of 3. We've got some paneling here for sentiments, and also some additional backing layers. This is another of the cards with that lovely blue all over design printed, and then you've got white inside. And then we've got additional panels here. So there's that one there in Lost Lagoon. So we've got Lost Lagoon, Night of Navy in terms of colour. And then more of the panels that match the first card. We've got some gold foil panels and some more background panels. It looks like that probably comes out. Yes, it does. And then our third card is this one here in the Lost Lagoon colour. We've got some faux wax seals. So these are self-adhesive. And then we have 9 envelopes, like so. This beautiful, it's a light Lost Lagoon, and then they've got beautiful printed insides as well. Okay, so let's get cracking. I think what I'm going to do is take 1 each of these panels in preparation, so that I've got all of the components for 3 cards. At this point I don't know which bits go together, and I'm going to try not to lose any. Famous last words. If you followed me for any time, I have a habit of losing things. Right, those I'm going to leave on the sheet because they're self-adhesive. I've got one of these panels, and I'm pretty sure that comes out. So you'll often find when you've got panels that come out that you'll end up with spare pieces that you can use on other cards. Let's grab a gold foil piece, and then there's 4 of these, so I suspect there's some stamping involved. And then we've got 1 each of those cards. We've got 1 of these panels. I do love the colours of the blue. I mean, I love blue anyway. There's that one. That's 2 cards. And let's grab 1 each of these. So I've got that one. This one in, it looks like grey granite. Basic grey, and again there are spares in there. Have I got all of those? Yes. Okay, and then 1 each of these gold foiled rectangles. So good morning to anyone who's joined us. I hope you are all well. Bit of a dull morning this morning, but I'm always hoping we will see some sunshine. Okay, and then that's the final card. So I think I have all of my components. These are the small die cuts here. I probably need to put my glasses on. Okay, and there's the envelopes there. I'm going to pop those back in the box, and I'll put these to the right hand side when I'm looking for them. That's where they are. So you can see the printed results of the suggested cards, but you could really do entirely your own thing. Right, let's get going. So for the first one, actually I'm going to put this here. We're going to take this one here, and I've got a block at the ready, so I'm just going to use this one. And this is going to go onto the gold piece. Now it comes with a Night of Navy ink pad. I like to keep these sealed in case anybody loses theirs. So I've got a Night of Navy ink pad at the ready that I'm going to use. And their suggestion, obviously you can mix and match these sentiments to an extent as well. This is going to go onto this panel here, and the foliage is going to go onto this one. So my recommendation is to ink it up and try it on the back. If you've got some scrap paper or grid paper, you could use that as well. Now my ink pad is very well used, so I'm inking it up perhaps more than you would normally need to. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to pop that in the centre of there. Like that. Hopefully you can see that okay. And then they've got Hello Beautiful. I've cut mine apart, so I'm just going to put Hello on there. Let's pop that one back. And it's going to, again, stamp it on the reverse. And they've got it sort of down towards the bottom. I might lift it up a little bit because I haven't got the other part of the sentiment. Clean my block a little. So I'm happy with that, so let's turn it over. It's a very pale smoky slate on the back, or the front I should say. Okay, so let's pop that on there. And the sentiments, as I say, are interchangeable as long as they fit on the panel that you've chosen. Okay, so that's those two. Step 2 is this one here, and then the Hello Beautiful is going to slot on there, so it's got a little bit of a gap, so it's showing that top and bottom, and they show it with some tape on the backing. If you prefer to use your own adhesive, then of course you can. And you don't need to put this all the way over. You just need to have enough on the back to hold it in place. There we go. So there's my hello. And then on the back of this piece we've got the Lost Lagoon colour piece. So you don't need to know the colours, just look at the shape, and you can see whether it's the light one or the dark one. Okay, so this is going to go underneath like so, and their suggestion is to put one of the dimensionals to hold that in place. You could also use glue or a bit of tape. Actually, I might just do that. Just going to use a little bit of tape on there first, just to hold it in place, stop it moving. There we go. And then they even show you in the instructions where to put these dimensionals if you're not sure. 1, 2, 3, and then we've got dimensionals on the back of our stamped piece here. And there's nothing to stop you, for example, adding, there's this little stamp here, so because I've gone for a smaller sentiment, I could add that across the edge. Now I put dimensionals on, it's a bit late to do that. Okay, and for this one, their recommendation is this lovely deep blue panel with the navy on the top. So, and there's not a right or wrong way for this, so you don't have to worry about it being the right way. And they've got this panel on here like so. So let's just take the backings off. Oh, don't take the whole thing off, Jenny. So the price of this kit in the UK here is £24. So you get 9 cards and envelopes, but you will be you'll end up with the stamp set, the block, the ink pad, and some spare die cuts. So if you've got some card blanks, you could go on to do some other bits and pieces, and certainly things like this little snowdrop and the foliage are very useful stamps for just filling in details. Okay, so we've then got this one here, which you can either tuck above or below, and then they've added some gold twine. So just tuck, I'm just going to tuck mine quite a way in, like that. Now there's nothing to stop you recreating that in landscape form if you prefer. So we're going to put some twine in, and then the little seal, and normally you'll find the edge of the twine in the center. Gosh, that is so fine. Okay, now they tell you how much you can use. They've got 22 inches, half a metre basically. I don't think I need quite as much as that. Oh, make sure I cut it in the right place. There we go. Put that there. So this is going to get wound around here. So we're going to pop a little dimensional on. Like so. Maybe I should have put that a bit further in. Like so. There we go. So I had fun and games with engineers yesterday. And they've got to come back because they couldn't sort the problem out yesterday. They've got to dig a channel in my front garden. Okay. Right, I just want to spread this out a little bit more. You can use as much thread as you want, and what I like to do is sort of twist it in the middle, and then I find you've got a better point of contact. I appreciate that is very, very fine, and I don't suppose you can even see it on my card. And then they've got one of these, so it's self-adhesive. Oh, I see, it matches that. Just realised. That took me a little while. And that's going to go over here. So it's going to stick to those cards, and then I've also got the piece behind. So there we go, that's card number 1. And you could stamp the sentiment on the inside, so celebrate or thanks for all you do on the inside of that card. And I'm also going to pop that little floral piece on the inside as well, just to finish it off. As I say, my Night of Navy is in dire need of re-inking. There we go. So there's card number 1, like so. Just going to pop that out of the way for the minute, and then let's proceed. So it looks like you only use one of those seals. Ah, I bet the seal goes on the envelope. Trying to work out why there's 18 seals but 9 cards, so you could put one on the envelope as well. Okay, so card number 2 uses that beautiful little snowdrop. I do hope in our spring catalogue that we have some snowdrops. As demonstrators, we will get to see those this evening as we get a preview and pre-order for the new catalogue. So I'll be able to let you know. Okay, this is going to go on to... Now, what have I done with all of those panels? There we go. Let me see. Not that one. There's another one. Is it that one? It is. Okay, and we're going to have thanks underneath it. So again, have a practice on the back of the card. This has got a little bit of printing on. I appreciate you can't see that on the video. Okay. And their suggestion was thanks. But obviously you could use whichever you want. So where have they put that? Just slightly higher centre. There we go. There's that cute little snowdrop. And then we've got thanks. Which here, and that's going to go underneath it here. And again, just going to have a practice. That's a nice thanks, actually. I like the slightly italic script for it. So thanks underneath. Like so. And then on this little strip here, they've got For All You Do, which is this one, but you could also use Today and Every Day. It's another option. Okay, so For All You Do, and this is going to go onto this panel. So again, I'm just going to have a practice on the back, and if you didn't like the colour, you could just use the back of this anyway if you wanted to. So For All You Do, that's that one, and yep, they put it in the centre. There we go. And then this is going to go to this one here. So For All You Do is going to sit up on there. So you could put the, is it fit exactly? Try to see on their diagram. Yeah, they put it right at the top. So a bit of tape, either on the back of there or on the front of the other one, whichever you're most happy with. Just going to put that across there and adhere this down. And then we've got those little chevrons and things on the bottom, so just making sure I've got this the right way up. And hopefully fairly straight. Now our craft inks will dry pretty quickly unless you've got it really inky, but obviously just be careful when you're pushing it down. Right, all of that is then going to go onto here, and that's going to go onto okay, I'm confused. Right, I'm very confused. Okay, we have this panel, so that is the front. Then we have this panel that goes underneath it. Got it, like that. Let's just make sure I've got that right. Yes. So I was thinking that was the front of the card, but that's the back of the card, and then we've got those layers in there. So right, that's going to go down first. And then the panel on top. No, the panel goes behind. Just look at the instructions, Jenny. Right, that's going to go on there, and that's going to go flat. Oh dear, this is what happens when you just do it live with no thought beforehand. Okay, now obviously you can do it any which way you want, so you don't have to follow that if you don't want to. So this is going to go on here, and it's got a mark here to show you roughly where that's going to go. Like that. And then this panel is going to go on the top. Like so. And that's going to go on with dimensionals. There we go. And I'm just going to put 2 in those top corners. You'll have plenty of these, so well, just move those little backings, they're going to go everywhere, just warn you now. So I guess you could put that on the back of here first if you wanted. So I'm just lining that up to there. Like so. And then our panel here is going to go across there. And I'm going to put dimensionals in the centre of that to support it. And maybe a little tape on each end. I'm hoping that is in your view. Okay, so a little tape either side, and then dimensionals in that middle panel here. So what I'm going to do is position that to know where they need to go. One either side. That's it, and then one in the middle. Three. Just take the backing off that tape just to keep it secure on that outside edge, really. And that's going to go underneath there. Like so. And then the final touch is one of the seals, and these 2 pieces here. Let me grab the seal. And they've got 1, sort of 2 like that, and they'll just sit on that. And then this is going to go here with some of that gold twine behind. So again, they tell you how much to use, another 20 inches worth, but I'm just going to literally fold this in a figure of 8 to the back of this. There we go. Oh, that's where I miscut it last time. Let's just tidy that up. There we go. And then that's going to go onto here. And I'm going to support it again with a dimensional in that little corner. So rather than put it on my seal, I'm going to put it on the card so that it doesn't get in the way too much. Take the backing off. And you can have that at a jaunty angle or straight. They've got it relatively straight. Just going to do that like so. There we are. Card number 2. And again, you could stamp another thanks on the inside. I'm going to stamp that little snowdrop again on the inside. Just in there, and I might do the thanks as well. Seems I've got a bit inky there. Go. And I'm going to pop our thanks next to it. No, that says hello. It was close. Thanks, there it is. There we are. There we go. So there's the inside of the card, and then the outside. So that's card number 2. This is card number 1. And then the third card features this lovely Lost Lagoon. So let me just flip over to those instructions. Now this one has got some oh, okay, so they've used that side because there's going to be some stamping on there, but you could equally use that side if you prefer. Let's have a look. So these two pieces are going to go together. Quite like it just like that. However, I'm going to do it as suggested for my first one. So this one is going to have a little bit of that foliage here on the right hand side. So what I'm actually going to do, I can see a pencil. So I'm just going to mark the edge of the card. I know you probably can't see that. I've just got 3 little dots on there so that I know where to stamp this really. You could use the larger foliage if you wanted to. And you could definitely just put it on the other side and have the pretty pattern. Okay, so we've got one here. And another one here. Like so. And then we've got this panel and the gold panel, and this fits in with a little gold border either side. Now if you wanted to, you could cut that slightly deeper so that you had more of the gold showing. It seems a shame only to have that tiny sliver, doesn't it? Okay, this one's going to say celebrate today and every day. Let's just grab that one there. And again, just going to try it on the back. and they put it over to the left, so there's space for the little seal on the right hand side. So inking that up. If you're using the small ink pad, what you'll want to do is leave the stamp on the block and ink it up that way. You'll find it easier. I'm just using a large ink pad to save the smaller one for later. Okay, so we've got celebrate today and every day. That's going to go onto here, and they've suggested just using tape. You could, if you want to, put that on dimensionals and give it a little bit more height. And you'll have plenty of tape, so, and it's going on a flat surface, so I don't worry about having it too layered up with tape. Okay, so this has a slight border on either side, like so. These two are also going to get layered up together. So just tape top and bottom. So if you ordered my most recent class in a box, they're all ready. They should have gone out yesterday, but because I had to stay in for the engineers who took longer than expected. So straight after here, I'm off to the post office. Okay, so there's that panel. That's going to go on there, like so. This is going to go on top, like that. And then we've got the other piece of blue die cut that I've slung somewhere on the floor. My poor dog Chino is covered in little white dimensionals. Bless her, like it's been snowing. So this is going to go on with that. So let's do this layer next. And you could do that flat or dimensionals. Obviously we have to watch the cost of postage these days. Let's move those out of the way, they're a bit distracting. And if you had marked that with pencil like I've done, you could just make sure that's rubbed out or covered up. So this layer on next. Like so. And then we've got celebrate is going to go on the top. I might have mine, oh, it's about the way they put it. Right, dimensionals on the back of that. And you can see I've used not even a quarter of those dimensionals, so you've got plenty. To do. Right, let's have that. Just make sure I've got it roughly straight. And then we've got this panel here, this, and then the little faux seal, and some more, if you wish, gold twine. So just going to do the same thing. I'm going to wrap that gold twine, just see which way I want it to go, sort of crossways really. So leaving that on my table and just sort of doing figure of 8. Different sized pieces. Like so. You could also do this directly on the card, just put a dimensional down, but I prefer to do it on here, I think, because then you can see that it's not going to be covered up too much. Let's fold that one in. There we go. And that's going to go on there. Do it at a bit of an angle, I think. Oh. I'm going to put that down with a bit of tape. On there. And I'm just going to put an extra bit of tape on the back of here. This is already raised on dimensional, so I don't want to add any more height to this. So just peeling the backing of that off, just folding over any tape that's sticking out. There we go. There we are. That's it. Celebrate today and every day. And again, I'm going to stamp that little piece of foliage on the inside, just as a finishing touch. One, two, like so. And there we are, there's our third card. So I hope you like the kit. That's 3 cards out of the 9 done as intended. That's a spare piece that's come out, so you can use that obviously on another card. So it's called Everyday Beauty. Let me show you the 3. And as I say, you'll have the stamp set, the ink pad, the block. You'll probably have some, or you'll almost certainly have some of the die cut pieces left over. So you can go on to decorate more cards. So let me show you 3. We've got this one here in that lovely Lost Lagoon. And if you don't like the wax seals, they're not everybody's cup of tea. You could substitute it with a little bit of your own ribbon, or just leave it off altogether and just wind the gold thread round and tie it in a bow. There's this one, thanks for all you do, and that's got that lovely backing piece. And then this one here. So nice and straightforward, very pretty, a nice selection of blues, perfect for thank yous, for birthdays, male or female. And that is the kit. It's currently in stock, and I have one spare one in stock at the minute, so if you want to grab that and you're local to me, just let me know and I'll put it aside for you. So thank you so much for joining me. Do take care. I'll be back tomorrow evening. That's the 13th of November. All being well, as long as I don't have any broadband issues with the engineers. But if I do, I will post that beforehand. So thank you so much. Do take care. Thanks for watching and crafting, and keep in touch. Bye for now.